सावित्री अन फातिमाच्या त्यागाचा इतिहास, शिक्षणाच्या शिक्षकांच्या सन्मानाचा ध्यास। शिक्षक भारती, शिक्षक भारती, शिक्षक भारती, शिक्षक भारती।
Hello friends, I am Nisha Vilas Guru. I am from Jayaganesh English Medium School, Malwa. I am studying in 7th standard. Today I am going to teach you 7th standard English topic 1.4, The King's Choice. So, before moving to our lesson, here are some meanings of the new words. Let's begin with our topic. 1.4, The King's Choice. There was once a lion who was the king of the forest. He was big and strong and very fierce. All the other animals in the forest called him king. They brought him gifts from every corner of the forest. Here there was one lion in the forest, and every animal from the forest called him as the king. He was very big, strong and fierce. Fierce means dangerous or terrible. And all the other animals called him king. So they all brought him gifts from every corner of the forest. From full of the forest, from everywhere they brought him gifts. And he knew that lion needs gifts of animal meals, so they brought him that. But more the lion had, the more he wanted. A king must have a goat, he said to himself one day. So this lion was a little bit selfish, because if the lion had something, he was not satisfied in that. He wanted more and more. One day he thought in his mind that a king must have a goat. He called a fox to his side. "You are known to be a wise and clever creature, fox," said the lion. "I want you to be my advisor." "Thank you, your majesty," said the fox, bowing low. Here the lion called fox to him. He said to the fox that "You are known to be wise and clever creature, fox. Means you are very sharp, smart-minded, so you are likely to be my advisor." The fox also agreed with the decision. He said, "Thank you, your majesty," and bowed low. Bowing low means a sign of respect. The lion next called a leopard to his side. "You are known to be watchful and swift of foot, leopard. I want you to be my bodyguard." "Thank you, your majesty," said the leopard, bowing low. Then the lion called one leopard to him. Then he said to that leopard, "You are very watchful and swift of foot." Means you are very strong also, and you have so nice eyes to keep watch. And then swift of foot means you are running with high speed. Means you can run with high speed. So you are also likely to be my bodyguard. The leopard also agreed with the decision, and then he said that "Thank you, your majesty." He bowed low and went. The lion then called a vulture to his son. "You are a bird vulture and can fly high. You are to be my messenger." "Thank you, your majesty," said the vulture, bowing low. Then the lion called a vulture. He said to that vulture that "You are a bird and you can fly high. So you can give me messages from far away. So you are likely to be my messenger." The vulture also agreed with the decision and said, "Thank you, your majesty," bowed low and went. The fox, the vulture and the leopard took an oath of loyalty to the king. The king promised to give them food and protection. Now here, oath means a solemn promise. So, and loyalty means here constancy. Then the fox, all the three courtiers took oath of loyalty, and then the king also promised them to give them food and the protection. For some time, all went well in the court of the king. The three courtiers never opposed the king. His wishes were law. Whenever he rode, they stood in awe. Whenever he took a walk, means for some time, means all went good, all went well in the court of Lion King. Then the three courtiers never opposed the king. Never opposed means here they never complained to the king that means we are not satisfied with you. We are. They never made such like this negative comments. And as they know that his wishes were long, so whenever he rode it, they all stood in awe. They all stood in one line with a respect bowing low. And then whenever he took walk around the forest, they all followed him. When the Lion King went hunting, they found the animals for him to eat. And after he had his meal, he left the remains for them. So they always had enough to eat. Means whenever the Lion King was going for hunting, these all courtiers was bringing animals for him to hunt. And then after the Lion King's hunting is finished, after his meal is finished, he left the remains for them. So they always had enough to eat and they were satisfied in this. One day, the vulture came back from a flight. "Your Majesty, have you ever eaten a camel?" he asked. "It is very tasty. I ate it once in the desert." So now the vulture went for flying. Then after he came back, he asked the king, "Have you ever eaten a camel? It is very tasty, and I ate it in the desert." The lion had never seen a camel, but he liked the idea of trying camel's meat. So see here that the lion had never seen a camel, because you know that lion lives in forest, camel lives in desert, so there is no contact between these two animals. So the lion had never seen the camel, but he liked the idea of trying the camel's meat. "But where can we get a camel?" he asked. "There is a desert some miles away," said the vulture. "I was flying over it when I saw a lone camel not far away. It looked big and fat." And so after the vulture suggested the camel's meat idea, the lion asked him, "Where can we get this camel?" The vulture said, "There is a desert some miles away." Some miles away means some distance away. "So I was flying over that desert. There I saw a lone camel." Lone means here only one. He saw a lone camel in that desert, and he also looked very big and fat. The king looked at his other advisors. They were wise and experienced. He wanted their opinion. Now the fox and the leopard did not know the desert, but they did not want the vulture to seem wiser than they. So they said, since it was the vulture's idea, he should lead the way. So now the lion looked at the other advisors to take their also opinion, because they were wise and well experienced. So the lion took the others' opinion. But the fox and leopard also don't know the desert. But the fox and the leopard thought that they doesn't wanted to seem that the vulture is wiser than them. So they said to the Lion King that it is the vulture's idea, so he should tell us the way. Early next morning, Lion and his court started off on the camel hunt. Means in the next morning only, the lion and his all the courtiers started off. Means they went in search of the camel hunt. They reached the edge of the desert easily, but after they left the shelter of the forest, the day became very hot. The sun shone down with fire-hot rays. Means now they had left the forest and they are starting the journey for the desert. But here, as you know that the climate in the desert is very hot. So they felt very hot and the day became very hot. The sun shone down the fire-hot rays. The sun shone very hot and there was a hot climate. So I have explained you the first part of this lesson. Hope you understand the video.